Mic check. Sound a little bit better, people. Right. Well, we up out of here. We're going to shorten the intro today. Jump right into the topic. Yeah, we got action. But listen, people, you know what it is. If you are the weak, if you have thin skin, if you are the faint of heart, if you do not do well with constructive criticism, people, this is not the channel for you. Because we do all of that here. All in the name of doing better than we did yesterday, right? Right? And that's what it is, people. I know you guys out there setting it off, taking a peek at the show here and there while you're turning that Jack Daniels up. Or for those of you who do the Hennessy on the rocks, lemon around the rim, cherry in the middle, right? That used to be my signature drink, as you can tell. But listen, we have a topic that's more than a topic. It's something that needs addressed. We need to find our way out, people. A lot of us were born in environments that are not conducive to success, that are not conducive to growth itself, right? You make sure that, okay, it's a little bit too light over there. We got to do something about that. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. You know I'm always out to make sure we got the best possible show that we can throw, right? And with that said, okay, that should be better. You guys got me doing DJ work and all kinds of things. But I mean, if it makes you happy, if it improves the quality of the show, then I got you, right? Yeah, I think we got action. We got action, people. But listen, a lot of us who have cousins that we left in the trenches, I'm going to say this, I've never expounded on this before. Some of us made it out by the grace of God. Some of us were blessed to have enough wit to escape certain circumstances that we were born into, right? But have you ever stopped to think about our best friend that we went to school with? About our little cousin? A lot of people who did not have the wherewithal to escape those same situations that were so egregious that we wanted to move 100 miles or more away from these environments, right? People, have you ever stopped to think we left our little cousin behind? We left our childhood best friend behind. They're still there in the environment that's so bad that all your life you only wanted to move away from it 200-300 miles. People, that thing is killing us. It's killing the people that we love. I saw a meme one time that said, I will be your best friend. I will hang out with you every day. We can get drunk together. We can do drugs together. We can deal with women together. And then when time comes, I'll betray you. I'll get rid of you. I'll even kill you like I never knew you. Signed, the streets. Sadly, we know it to be true. We know it to be true. The streets treats us like it's our best friend. And then it discards us like we're trash. And I'm talking about our very lives. Who knows the topic of today's show? You guys gonna start rocking with me and letting me know you rock with me. A lot of times you guys don't even know the topic of the day's show. How to get out of the streets in 90 days, people. How to get out of the streets in 90 days. Because we need to. It's killing us. And those of you who probably knew just based on the title, when I say streets, I mean the hustling, the gang banging, the selling drugs, right? The messing with multiple different women. I mean, you can take that into productive society and it's not going to be extremely detrimental, but we're going to jump right into it, people. Listen, first of all, this one is detrimental. You have to have some sort of clue as to who you are. Have you ever thought about that? Do you even know who you are? Do you know what you love? Do you know what you're into? Do you know what you're passionate about? Have you ever even thought about those things? We're going to skip that for now. There needs to be some sort of belief system about who you already are set inside of you. You have to be comfortable with you. You have to know you like you know a best friend, right? Again, I'm going to tell you the topic is how to get out of the streets in 90 days. This is what we're talking about. People, we have to start discussing that. Not only that, we have to start doing it. It's killing us. For every year that one of us has stayed in that environment, we hear 5 more of us have gone on to meet whoever we believe in. We can't keep getting killed. Because what we do know, based on the people we know who came from the streets but made it to the NBA, made it to the NFL, those people that we hear about getting killed, listen, let's be honest, there's some amazing people. They used to walk up on the porch and do fake gang handshakes with their grandmom. Their grandmom is just as crazy about them as yours is about you. These are actually grandma's baby. This is mama's baby. But they're in environments that are conducive. Gary Young, I appreciate you, my brother. They're in environments that turn them into monsters. That's why they say you either kill or be killed. You have to literally turn into something that can survive in an environment that me and you know is so bad that we destined in our hearts to move 200-300 miles away from that area. So if you know it's that bad, we kind of have to be careful judging the gangbangers that we hear about. We kind of have to be careful. I believe those of us who were people, we got an issue. We got a serious issue. You know I can't do this show without my chapstick. I'll shut this whole show down about this chapstick. People, you betray me time and time after again. None of you told me I didn't have my chapstick. Oh, this is terrible. Okay, people, I got my crack. What do you want me to say? Sorry? Okay, I apologize, family. I apologize. But listen, you know I can't make moves without my cologne or my chapstick. I'm going to say it again. Those of us who were fortunate enough to wiggle our way out of unfortunate environments and circumstances, believe it or not, we're guilty of treason. We're guilty of treason. And how dare we see people who have done this and this and that to others, brothers and sisters in these neighborhoods, and immediately judge them when we know that we left them into toxic environments. And what I mean by left them, you can't save everybody, but there are things that you can do to let people know you care about them. People can start channels where we devote trying to communicate with our brothers and sisters who are still in these environments, asking them the things that they need, asking them ideas that they think could be the beginning of an underground railroad system for them to, person by person, come into the new life that we've been introduced to, civilized society. Because listen, the truth of the matter is, none of you want to go to Southside Chicago. That right there is evidence that you know how bad it is. So what I'm asking you to do is be more careful judging when you hear how many bodies have dropped in Chicago. Because if that environment is such that bodies are dropping 20 and 30 times a day, then that means there has to be an energy in there that's turning children into this. And if they're surrounded by an energy that is this destructive and potent and toxic, I'm not saying overlook any of it. I'm saying a little bit of grace. And whatever you have in your heart, see what you can do to make that a better situation. You can't save the entire thing, but you could be somebody's pen pal through the internet. You could reach out to somebody. You could let them know, hey, I've been checking your page out. You're highly intelligent. Listen, have you ever thought about, you don't have the resources? Well, listen, here's some links. Like, this is a person that I follow on LinkedIn, blah, 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 right? We have to be a little bit more empathetic to situations. But back to the show. In order to escape, you have to have some sort of clue as to who you are. There needs to be a belief system about you that you already have set inside of you. You should have some type of hint at what you think you would be good at and what you would like to do. And I think all of us pretty much know what we love. More than likely, whatever it is that you love, there's some form of it on an industrial level that you can create or get involved in as an occupation. But I'm going to tell you people this, as easy as you think it is to just tell people who are in the streets, why don't they go get a job? People have records. People are on probation. But there's ways around those things. You can request to be removed from your state, right? But in order to do that, you have to have kahunas. You have to have something set up. You have to believe that you can go somewhere else and make a cool life for yourself. Because if you don't believe that, you have no incentive to seriously pursue relocating, which I'm stepping ahead of the show. But listen, you should have some type of hint at what you think you would be good at and what you would like to do, so that when you transition, you have a direction you can be heading in, right? If you're currently in the trenches, but you've always wanted to work on cars, well, when you transition, you have a path that you can set your GPS device on, your mental GPS. And I'll say this. This is actually number one most crucial element. You must leave your hometown. You must leave. It's not even up for debate. You have to leave your hometown. You must go somewhere and put your back against the wall. You'll hear a lot of people say, my money isn't right. Or they'll talk about a good job that they have right now, wherever they're currently at, that's preventing them from making such a big jump. Then the question becomes, what's most important to you? If you hate it where you're at and you know that it's not conducive to an amazing outcome for the overall picture of your life, but where you would like to be, it pays $5. There's a job you've already researched. It pays $5 less than what you're making right now. You simply have to ask yourself, how valuable is it to you to be where you've always wanted to be? Is it worth $5 an hour? Is it worth it? You simply have to ask yourself how valuable it is to be where you want to be. This is going to help you make a lot of your decisions right away. Especially considering you can eventually, that's not a big deal if you look at it from the perspective that you can eventually build that $5 loss back up and even past it through promotions and working hard. right? It's important because listen, there's an invisible problem that you haven't identified yet about your environment. Everybody you love is your kryptonite. A lot of you right now know I'm telling the God's honest truth. The people who are most important to you are your kryptonite. You know where all of the strip clubs are. If things get too bad for you, you know at least 10 different people who will front you some type of drug to get back on your feet or some type of illegal scam to get you back on your feet. All of the things that keep you engulfed in the negativity and the negative lifestyle and negative cycle. As long as you're engulfed in that negative lifestyle, listen, your mind is constantly cycling. It's just about what you're dropping into the top of you and allowing to cycle. When you're involved in the streets, I call it survival mode. So while you're in survival mode, you don't even have time to be thinking about exit strategies because when you're in the streets, one false move, one lack of concentration, one lack of paying attention can be detrimental. So 24 hours a day, you're either thinking about this or thinking about that, and it's preventing you from putting the strategy, your exit strategy together. I would advise you to take an entire weekend away from whatever it is you do in the streets. Go get you a hotel and swear to yourself you're not going to think about the streets. You're not going to think of anything. Take you a notepad, a tablet, iPad, and just jot down steps that are necessary for your exit strategy. That thing does not become real till it gets down on paper. Once you see it on paper, you can see the parts that are feasible and the parts that are likely not to work. Then you start Xing out the parts that are likely not to work. And then you have a page full of the things that you've already deemed are the most realistic. Once you look at those things in chronological order, they become an exit strategy, a realistic exit strategy. Listen, you have to remove yourself from all of the things that have you engulfed in darkness. All of the things that have you engulfed in a cycle of not paying attention to the things that matter. The things that matter are the things that are going to get you out. Imagine this. If your mind is so discombobulated right now with the streets that you can't even put together a simple exit strategy, imagine how amazing your life is once you get out of that entire street life. The amount of clarity that is going to come to you on a consistent basis. What's preventing you is the distractions of the street. You're in survival mode. You don't even know how good life is outside of survival mode. You're constantly entertaining all of the things that are keeping you from becoming a productive member of society and living a stable life. This is your entertainment. This is your entertainment. All of the things that are keeping you from living a productive life. You have to look at it like this. The people who love you most are the perfect design of a nuclear distraction. There's probably never been a more strategic distraction made on the planet. The people who love you and the people who you love. There's no bad motive. Nonetheless, it's a distraction. That's why it's essential to leave your hometown. It's essential. When you've been thinking about reading books more often and focusing more on that secret hobby that you have, as soon as you crack that book open, one of the people who love you most and who mean you well are going to call your phone simply because they love you and say, "Hey bro, let's go grab a drink. I got it." Boom. Sit that book down. Sit your dream down. Neglect your leveling up. The crazy part is, that's why I call it the perfect strategic distraction. What type of person turns down an invitation to go spend time with somebody whom they love and who loves them? The average doesn't. That's the problem. As much as you love them, what's happening in the background whenever you become influenced to abandon the things that you're interested in to spend time with them, your interests and your dreams are inadvertently taking a backseat to theirs. Think about it like this. Imagine that you have a homeboy or a homegirl who they just love partying every day. But when they call you, you sacrifice something cool that you're trying to do to go hang with them. There's only one person being neglected. Because while you're with them, they're doing what they like to do. But you're not getting to do what you would prefer to do right now because you chose to go hang out with them and do what they like to do. So one person's ambitions are getting fulfilled and one person's are getting neglected. I don't recall who it was, but hey, listen, I'm going to say this too. I've been meaning to say this, but I haven't. I need you guys to tune in to Earn Your Leisure on all social media channels. Earn Your Leisure. Dropping jewels. 19 Keys. Dropping jewels. Erica Lachey. Dropping jewels. You need to constantly be dumping positive energy inside of you. Not just positive energy, knowledge that you didn't previously have that can help you more efficiently create your exit strategy out of the streets. Because people, we have to get out of those streets. We must. And when I say get out of those streets, I mean higher learning. Knowing things that you did not know before. It's essential because you can't grow if you're staying stuck. You can't grow if you're staying stuck. Growth is a thing entirely of its own. It's important and even vital to move away from your hometown, people, because the average human being just doesn't have it in them to exert the caliber of discipline that is necessary to resist the people telling you, the people who love you the most, telling you, let's go do this or let's go do that. The average person does not have the caliber of discipline that is needed to say, no thanks, I'd rather not hang out with you. The odds are, even if you do pull it off once or twice, that's not going to be the norm. That's not going to be the norm. You're going to fall to temptation more than you're going to resist. Because when it's not him, it's going to be your other cousin or your other friend reaching out to you. And that's too much temptation to be fighting. You have to put yourself in a predicament where it's out of your hands to where, listen, I'm going to jump on something real quick. You know how people say marriage is work? Marriage is really not work, and it's not supposed to be work. Let me move this camera. For some reason, it's a little bit darker over there than what it's supposed to be. But listen, marriage is not supposed to be work. You just started hearing that within the last 15 or 20 years. Do you know why marriage is work now? Because the women that are women, they have lost their ability to pair bond. You've heard me speak on this several times. Our women have lost their ability to pair bond. For those of you who don't know what pair bonding is a natural, even in the animal kingdom, it is natural. That's a little bit better. It's natural for someone to become attached, for the female to become attached to the to the male. You remember when people used to get sprung, men could get girls sprung off good sex? The reason you don't hear about that anymore is they say after 5 sexual partners, women's chances of getting married are reduced down to, I think, 5%, 10%. It's because their emotional ties have been broken. And that's why they're saying now that marriage takes work. Because before this, you were just, when your man was at work, you were just thinking about him and you couldn't wait for him to come home. You were thinking about him. But after you've had 15 or 20 sexual partners, my God, can you imagine what you're thinking about? Out of 15 or 20 sexual partners, there's at least 4 of them who blew your back all of the way out. And here and there, you're going to think about those individuals. And that's what I'm saying when I say It's better to just remove yourself out of the predicament to where even if you want to succumb to the temptation, you're too far away to do it. It takes a lot of the work off of you. Takes a lot of the work off of you. You have to put yourself in a predicament to where it's out of your hands to go hang out at a strip club with your favorite cousin because you're 3,000 miles away, right? Once you put this plan together and you start seriously engineering your strategy, wherever it is that you believe is most suitable for you to go, I want you to go on meetup.com. Meetup.com. Before you even leave, start associating with people. Meetup.com is like this. If you like tennis, if you like bowling, you can go type it in. There's groups for it. There's people who you can inbox and message. They're already in these groups. Start connecting and interacting with these people. You could probably use Instagram for the same thing, but meetup.com is specifically engineered for people to meet one another, right? Start associating with people, talking to them way before you reach your destination. That way, by the time you land where you're at, you'll already have some people that you're already connected with who you can hang out with. Some people who can help guide you into your best outcome for your transitioning, right? People who can give you advice on an environment they already know like the back of their hand that you don't. It'll almost be like having family somewhere and moving there. Also, if you're banging your head about finances and putting the money together, if you're serious about saving your own life and leveling up, you should grab your job for 3 months. Grab your job, save every one of those paychecks up. Chances are, if you don't have a job, you're probably staying with somebody right now anyway. So, yeah, you're not going to have to spend your money on rent. See if it's okay that you stay with them for another 3 months. Contribute what you can. Save that money up. Also, be on Craigslist, be on LinkedIn, looking for some type of occupation in the state that you want to move to, right? I'm certain that if you're serious about moving and other people can see it, once the people who love you most, the people who were inviting you to those strip clubs, the people who were inviting you to those menage a trois, the people who were saying, hey, cuz, I got a blunt. If they really are your people, once they find out you're serious, depending on the caliber of circle you have, I believe there's a few who are going to donate and contribute to your move just out of being proud of you, right? Also, don't have it in your mind that this is essential. Do not have it in your mind that if things get tough, you'll just go back home. You have to kick that very thought out of your mind. You have to kick that thought out of your mind. Because just as a human being, that will be your first recourse of action when things get tough. Because listen, things are going to get bumpy. They're going to get bumpy here and there. But people, that's anywhere you go. Things are going to get bumpy if you stay where you're at, right? If you have a determination already set in your head that you're going to make it work, that you're going to stick it out when things do get tough, instead of grabbing a bus ticket, your mind will go into autopilot trying to figure out how to overcome the obstacles that have just made things tough for you. And that's what you need. You don't need fight or flight. You don't need tuck my tail and run. You don't need that. You need to already have convinced yourself that you're going to see this thing through. That's the only way that you're going to be able to make it. The easiest thing that you know what humans do, and this isn't my all studies show this. We go back to what we're used to. We go back to what we're used to. That's what humans typically do. And I often tell people this, though, for when the times get hard. I want you to sit back and think, listen, hold on, I don't know what's up with this lighting. Now, you guys know it's usually not this bad for us. We really got to turn these lights up a little bit. Okay, that's a little bit better. That's a little bit better, people. Okay, I guess we can work with that. I guess we can work with that. But listen, I want you to think back to your scariest moments, the most uncomfortable moments in your life. Sitting in the drunk tank on your third DWI and you know you're going to prison. Judge even warned you last time that if you came back in there, you're thinking about the book getting thrown at you. I don't care what your scenario is. If you think about it, for the most part, humans typically make it through the bad experiences that they have. They typically make it through with less scrapage than they thought they were going to incur. So it's going to be all right. You just have to do the initial part and place yourself where the good fortune can fall upon you, right? Some of you call it good luck. I call it mercy from God. Or from a business standpoint, good fortune. You have to position you have to position yourself in an environment where cool things can happen for you. And you have to already have it determined in your head that the job that you get is going to sustain you, and that you're going to continue to work that job until you create a better outcome for yourself. Have it in your head that you're not going to quit. Because I'm telling you, it's called income for a reason. Income is a powerful tool. As long as something's coming in, that creates a breathing room for you to strategize getting out of that motel and getting this. But you're in panic mode when you absolutely don't have any income and you don't have any more money. You're in panic mode now, and nobody can think correctly when they're in panic mode. So what you're going to have to do is maintain that. Listen, trust me, you can't quit the job that you create for yourself. When you get wherever you're going, I'm going to tell you listen, I'm going to drop a jewel on you. Uber. Uber is a powerful weapon. Listen, as innovation continues to boom, as technology continues to advance, the what would we call them? I won't call it a cheat code. It's similar to a head start. The head starts, we'll call them a turbo boost. The turbo boosts that we have today are a lot more powerful than the turbo boost that we had 20 years ago. With Uber, you can move around in your own schedule and make decent amounts of money that will allow you the ability to position yourself not where you can go, but where you want to go. I'm talking about once you arrive where you're at. Or you could even use Uber to generate money. They have situations with Uber to where they'll also provide the car. They'll also provide the car. You just after you get paid every week, I think they get a certain amount. But listen, with Uber, you can make $1,500 a week. You can make $1,500 a week, but you're going to have to press it. I don't know if I expressed this enough early on. The determination is going to have to be there. This whole thing is going to come down to how bad and how serious you are about your life changing, because it's what's going to propel you through the tough moments when you feel like staying in bed all day, even though you know you need to be in that Uber. How bad you want to change your life is going to be the deciding factor on how well you do on this journey. Trust me. You have to have it determined in your mind. You're going to work this thing until it allows you the luxury of doing whatever it is that you want to do versus what's available for you right now. Also, this is from a separate topic, but I want to say this before we wrap the show up. I want to say this. People, there's an aspect of perpetual fighting black people have been doing that they don't get credit for. Those of us with platforms and some celebrities, people with major followings, we've been fighting a fight against a multi-billion-dollar engine that has been pushing for our destruction for decades. We're the only culture who multi-billion-dollar companies fight to promote that we kill each other in the streets. Have you ever thought about this? Have you ever thought about this? We're the only culture of people where music companies are promoting that we kill each other, that our women become whores, that our children do drugs. They don't encourage country singers to do this. They didn't encourage Justin Timberlake to do this. They didn't encourage Britney Spears to do this. I want to see if I can pull something up for you. I've shown you guys this already before. I want to see if I can pull this up for you. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. Yeah, there it is right there. There it is right there. Give me 1 second. It's loading up right now. It's loading up right now. This is going to blow your mind once it's pointed out to you. All right, here it is.
Particularly on women. But I think it helped change the course of the crack epidemic. I don't know what's this opioid thing, man.
But being a crackhead wasn't cool back then. Being a crackhead wasn't cool. Now they seem like they're making it cool to be drinking lean and syrup and
it's the most dangerous. It's the most dangerous thing that's facing our society.
So why sign an artist that would promote that?
Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention. She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. But I have to. I can't give up on people.
But I'm saying that's hypocritical, though. You're saying
it's opportunistic.
Yeah.
I got people to feed. I got a business to run.
I think we knew it. That's Leo Cohen, pretty much the biggest music and record exec in the world, right? I think we knew it, but when you hear somebody own up to, well, actually not own up to it, I have to commend Charlamagne the God for even calling him, for even pulling that question out of thin air. Fentanyl and drugs like that is plaguing our society. Charlamagne the God asked him, so why are you allowing artists to press it through the music and promote it? Did you see him pause? And then guess what he said? Maybe it's a bit opportunistic, but listen, I got a company to run. Again, no one sees or pays attention to the fact that people like myself and other people have been engaged in a war where we're consistently pushing out messages, promoting progress, supporting nuclear families, financial literacy. For every message of theirs that they promote, where our children, where our women are whores. Do you know that they would drop Cardi B if she wasn't talking about WAP? Listen, do you know how much influence they have behind what record, what single gets pushed out there? They won't push out any of our music unless we're talking about killing each other. The man just admitted it in front of you. So, you know, I have to send a special shout out and commend all of the people who have these platforms. I know people who have shows like mine where theirs are specifically geared towards promoting positivity in the black communities, giving information, resources, and things like that to where we can do better. For every message out there that they promote where our women are being should be whores, promoting our women being whores, our men being killers, our daughters being ratchet, we're consistently pushing counter information against their messages of self-hate and cultural suicide. A lot of you don't see it, but it's taking place in the backgrounds. They don't promote this type of stuff to any other culture. They have more resources than we do. They control the entire media. So how we've been fighting back, we create shows like this to counter all of the negative energy that you see them pushing on social media. For every negative influence that they portray to push in our culture, there's many of us who try to counter it with alternatives to what they promote. And there's no one who sees the work, but it's done night and day, trying to reverse the negative messages that they're pushing into our communities. Every time they push negativity into our communities, there's people like basically Black Jesus and other people that I know who will create a show dedicated to deflecting the negative promotions that they're pushing into our community. I salute those of you with the platforms who are fighting for the betterment of our culture, right? For the security of our well-being, and putting positive messages out there for every message that they push out into our community, promoting that we shoot each other to get our women to be whores. Do not be misled, people. These are attacks. The reason we know, again, is because they don't pay country singers to talk about killing each other. They never paid Britney Spears or Justin Timberlake to talk about any of the lewd things that are taking place in our music. But it's almost the only way that they'll even give Black people even any record deals. But listen, people, I want you guys to go back, check the show out, see if there's anything that was beneficial in it for you, because we have to leave these hoods alone. We have to make our escape routes into more prosperous situations. Better neighborhoods equal better motivation, better inspiration, right? When you're in environments like that, you can think better. But listen, we're about to wrap this up. You know what it is. What we continuously promote is doing better than we did yesterday. And people, we're out of here.